Hello.
How we doing today?
Great. How
I
are
think
you?
we're good. I think we're all good
Good.
today.
We all had a good weekend, it sounds like. Sounds like it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure
lots of
did.
holidays going on. Also, ladies, I'm noticing that we're all in the same color. If you're listening, you can't hear, but you can go over to YouTube and see us, but we're all
Oh,
wearing the same color. We're kind of matching
We
today.
yeah.
are.
White.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
always
Right into
coordinating
white.
somehow.
Right into white. Well, we are Women Talk Fierce. We are three women, three stages of life, motherhood, and a business of roller coaster laughs, lessons, and loud opinions that we are sure might turn into a true crime podcast. We're pretty good today, though. I don't really sense it. Anybody else? No?
No.
No? No? Okay. So I think we're good today. Today we have Jennifer Boulay. She is the owner of Bliss Plus You Coaching, and she is a career coach. She is an intentional living coach, which I want to get into a little bit more,
Yeah.
where you can gain insight into mindfulness-based content around aspects of career improvement, resume writing, career services, and workshop. The
Mm.
intention to help engage is more of a meaningful career experience. We are very excited to have you here.
Yes,
Are
Thank
welcome,
you
you.
welcome.
are you ready to get on with some of these fabulous questions? Because I could not wait to find out more about this.
Yeah, sure. Let's get
Oh,
started.
All right.
okay. So I read through your bio. It says you had a 5-year plan. You had it all together. You had a good pay, great commute, and it blew up in your face. Walk us through that. Walk us through the moment you said, "Oh no, I'm not going to be here anymore."
Well, I had started my career with a telecommunications company in Canada. It's one of Canada's is probably the biggest one in Canada. I worked in human resources and recruitment. Then we got laid off, and then I went back into recruitment at the same company. And then I got offered a job at a large bank as an insurance advisor. And it was like a 10-minute commute when I live in a city that it takes an hour to get from your home to anywhere. And the
Mm.
pay was really good. This was back in 2013, 2014. And everything was really good. Like on paper, it looked really good. But when I went in, the culture was good and the leaders were great. But it just wasn't, I wasn't meant to be in insurance, and I don't know why I took it. It fit my life well. So I stayed there about 6 months, and then I ended up becoming a career coach after that because I had a lot of experience with different roles because I had transferred from social work into human resources. So that was that's kind of what got me there and a little bit of a background.
Gotcha.
So
So you
it,
basically
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so it fit your life, but it didn't necessarily fit your personality. Is that,
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, completely can relate to that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely. 1000%.
Yeah.
So does that mean you kind of basically started all over? You were rebuilding your own brand new career out of this?
Yeah, I had always wanted to be a career counselor or career coach. And I stumbled upon a girl in LA who was doing career coaching. And when I looked at her website, I was like, that's it. That's what I've been studying for. That's social work, human resources. That's perfect fit.
Yeah,
And I Yeah. started my own company.
All right. Now
I
here's going
love
to
that.
be here's a silly question. Talk to me about what career coaching really is. So does that mean you're handing out jobs like Oprah? Here's a job, here's a job, here's a job. What exactly does that mean?
I am not a recruiter. So I do not have, I have relationships with employers, but my job is not to get you a job. My job is to help you prepare to get a job. So basically, we're gonna go over your plans, your goals, your values. We're gonna set a plan. You're gonna orchestrate that plan, and I'm gonna help guide you through it. I'm gonna help you rewrite your resume. I'm gonna help you get ready for interviews. We're gonna look at what industries you want to go to. We're gonna look at networking and just basically anything you need to get yourself motivated and to get yourself set up so that you can have the career and the tools to take with you going forward and a toolbox that you can revert back to if you need to in the future.
Got it. All right. Well, now let's say your first meeting. You have a client come in with a first meeting. What's kind of the lie they tell themselves or the myth about what you do? So, what does an interview look like with their first one-on-one with you as a career coach?
The first one-on-one with me is really sitting down. I have like a preset questions that I do with people, and they uncover goals, they uncover values, they uncover where you're struggling in life, they uncover where you're really excelling in your life. We have a really big conversation about what you've done in the past and what skills you can bring forward. A lot of people who come to me, especially when I was working in Toronto, they already knew what career coaching was, and they knew the difference between a recruiter and a coach. So they knew that I wasn't going to get them a job, but they knew I was going to help them build the blocks to get a job
Mhm.
on their own. And when I work with a lot of international clients, it's different. They think that I'm going to get them a job, but I explain to them, well, I'm going to help you work through the process of getting a job, but I can't like put the job on your plate. So
Right.
Exactly.
that's kind of what a first interview
Right.
looks like for
Yeah.
international versus local.
I'm
So now,
curious, and Tammy, if this steps on your toes, let me
no, no,
know.
no, 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 no,
But
no.
I'm curious, when you have these interviews with somebody, that very first thing, have you ever run into somebody who you're like, this is not a fit, they're not coachable, this is absolutely not going to work? What did you do if that happened?
Um, Mostly I would just tell them, mostly everybody's coachable, I think, in their own degree, but I've never really turned anybody down.
Good for you.
I work with them in their capacity. Like
Yeah.
if I feel they're not exactly coachable in a certain way that I coach, I usually talk to them about what their needs and supports are, and then I'll guide them around with their needs and supports.
Oh, I love that. Okay, great.
Okay. Now I'm curious. So let's say you have someone like Nikki and Kira who kind of are good at a bunch of different things. And
Yeah.
maybe you don't know what they want. Or you have someone who like me who's been, built businesses, sold businesses, and been a coach for many, many years. So uh, do you find them making a pivot? Do you find you kind of digging deep to see really what they should be doing? Or what does that look like? Because I'm sure you have a lot of women come to you that actually already are doing something fabulously, but
Yeah.
maybe change it up. So what does that look like?
I go into what I call a day in the life of different scenarios. So with one client, what I did with her, we did our intake and then I gave her homework. So I always give my clients homework.
Mhm.
And we did something called a day in the life. So what does a day in the life this look like? This look like this look like. And then what we did was we came back together and we went through those days in the lives and she picked one or two that really she felt like were like a calling to her. And then what we did was we had her arrange some informational interviews with people. So go on LinkedIn, do some networking,
Right.
those kind of things. So it's like really before you like go back to school or start investing in something that you think you might want to do, you want to know if you want to do it. So you want to do your research. So that's where we start that process. And then we take it from there. Once I've decided maybe, hey, this is for me, we'll explore it a little bit more, maybe through volunteer work. And then we will move them into what I call getting started phase. So like gathering the tools, getting the transferable skills, and really looking at your employment history and what you can bring forward into this new role.
Oh,
That's
so
a good way
girls,
to look
we
at
all
it.
start writing
Yeah.
those days down, a day in, the
A
day
day
of.
in
Day in the life.
That's
Love
a
it,
good
love it,
that's
love
a
it.
good way to look at it because you don't want to go get certifications and this
no,
and that and go back to school and then you take the job and you absolutely hate every single minute of it. That's
Teaching.
it is
Yeah, I mean,
expensive too.
really, it's how I
Absolutely.
got here. I mean, really, because I went into a profession that while
Mhm.
I could appreciate it and I didn't hate it, it wasn't a fit for me.
Right.
So it's really finding what it is that you love. And I love that you dig into the core values. I love that you actually dig into the goals and you're
Yes.
not just like, find the job.
I needed
Right.
this when
Yeah.
I graduated college.
No.
Seriously.
I think a lot of people need it when they
Yeah.
graduate.
Even
I
Um,
before
work
that, honestly.
I work with a lot of recent grads and entry level because I find that's the hardest time to pivot because you're so new to the workforce.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and I work with a lot of newcomers to Canada too because they're kind of facing the same thing newcomers and I
Yeah.
mean graduates and stuff are. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I can
awesome.
understand that. Absolutely.
I'm curious, does the AI world affect you at all? Like the shifts with AI,
yeah.
especially when it comes to grads getting out of school.
Yeah,
Mm.
people have knowledge at their fingertips now. So, they can just go research and use Chat GTP as like a career coach, but
Ah,
it's not a career coach. It doesn't have that human connection and the ideas to ways to bounce ideas off of. So
right.
yeah, I found it's slowed things down a little bit, but once I explain to people that I can help them go through it as a sounding board,
Yes.
they feel more comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, do you find that it was harder to kind of guide them given the AI industry now? And you kind of hear so many, schools or grads, when they come out, they're affected by what jobs they should be looking for with the AI. Do you find that at all, or is that kind of something new?
I do find that people when they're coming out of school, they are I find that they're depending too much on Chat GTP or any kind of AI. And a lot of people, how am I trying to say this? A lot of people, like the job is changing. The jobs that they do are
Absolutely.
changing
Right.
based on the technology is being forward. Like a lot of people are being pushed out of their jobs. They may have just graduated with a degree, and now because of AI, they're finding it harder to find a job. And I
Yeah.
have a lot of people coming to me pivoting out of technology.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What does that look like when you've kind of spent your world, you've spent your money on this degree, and now, you thought it was in technology and it's shifting? Is that a big shift, or is it,
It is.
it is, yeah.
Because they're technically minded people, mathematics, technology, electrical engineering. I recently had somebody come from me internationally who did electrical engineering and was a web developer and a system developer. And they're like, I
No.
can't do this anymore. AI
Yeah.
is going to take over my job. So we had to really sit down and talk about what they could do forward. Like they're willing, this is a person that's totally open to going back to school. So it makes it a little bit easier. But like, we have to look at those transferable skills.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
you know,
I'm seeing a lot of that even in our world where we're in
Mhm.
operations and people can now just plug things in a how to, and it's right there at their fingertips. So
yeah,
why are they going to pay somebody $5,000 when Claude or ChatGPT is telling them
Can
step
do
by
it
step
itself.
what to do? And another, I mean, if you're in tech, great, but you really need to learn AI and you need to have that experience because it's taking over. We thought it was going to burst. We thought that bubble was coming to an end. And then Claude came in with co-work and all of that. And it was like, oh, it's back.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think
I
it's here
think
to
it's going to
stay.
be a skill that is needed. I mean, we've
Yeah, I
had this
think so too.
conversation before. I think you've either kind of got to jump in with both
Mhm.
hands and just start molding
yeah,
what you want to do with it and be open to using it. I think,
start
again,
using it. Start
yeah,
using it.
don't using it, you're just, that skill is being deleted and you need it now.
Yeah, like you shouldn't like use it to replace your professional headshots. You should still get those done. You shouldn't use it to write your resume because it's too generic. And like
Yeah.
a lot of recruiters are telling me, I'm seeing all resumes and they all look the same.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's why you need a career coach, just
Yeah.
because we know how to personalize your resume.
Yeah, even with websites, I'm seeing it now where because Claude does the website design, it all looks the same. All the design that I'm
Yeah.
seeing online in general looks the same. People's posts, they all look the same. I'm like,
Images,
"What?" It's
yeah.
like it's really like robot. The gold and the black and the white and the tan color of the Claude website. I'm like, stop it. So I imagine you're seeing a ton of that with resumes as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially when I was this like I was in recruitment before AI got bigger, but when people send me their resume, they're like, "Oh, I put it together on ChatGPT. What do you think?" I'm like, "Okay, it's really basic, so we need to kind of like spruce it up with some analytics and something that shows your personality." And a lot of people are posting resumes now that are like Canva design with their picture and
Uh,
graphics. No, you need a plain
No.
text resume.
yeah, they don't want all that.
No.
No.
Really? They don't want all the pretty little colors? They don't want that
The
on
recruiters do
the
not. They
resume?
want your plain text resume or PDF.
All
Yeah.
right. So now what happens if do you ever run into a client that has taken a while to find a job?
Yep.
Or let's say they're going on their fourth month, then are things kind of redone, revisited, or
Yep.
are we just motivating them?
First thing I do is I check with how long do you have to find a job? Was it 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever? And then we look back at what they've done. We look at their job history. We look at their transferable skills, and we look at what they want to do going forward. Because when you lose a job, I always say it is a loss, but it's also an opportunity to kind of reinvent yourself
Mhm.
because you have
Yes.
time to spend on yourself. Like a full time job search is full time, but career coaching, networking, um, writing, whatever you do, that's all part of it. Is entrepreneurship an option for you? Can you take
Yeah.
your skills? There's a lot of different paths to look at. So we do go back and look at what they've been doing, but we refresh it. So
Yeah.
that's what I do with people in those kind of situations.
Well, that's good. So they don't feel like they're
Yeah.
just kind of, out there waving in the wind, that they can always
Yeah.
revisit with you and kind of
Yeah.
pivot and move forward. Love that. Love that. So now I'm going to jump into when once again read over stuff. It says you dealt with your own mental health stuff. Now, was that from, again, the era of COVID or transitioning jobs, or was it just in general?
About 5 years into my business, when it was in Toronto, it was called Boulay Mac Consulting and Coaching back then. And when I moved to New Brunswick, I vamped because I had changed to mindfulness, but that's another story in itself. Um, about 5 years into my coaching, I went through a stage where I had so much work and I was taking off so fast that I couldn't handle it. I had to
Wow.
like step back and had to cancel some contracts, which I regret now, but at the time I had to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not with clients, but with like companies. And I was dealing with like anxiety and depression and anything that goes along with that. And it was really bad. I had to stop working for about 6 months and I had to recalibrate and refine myself. So that included therapy, medication, working with doctors, working with therapists, um, and just kind of revisiting where I needed to be. And then I went on a trip to Ecuador.
Wow.
And after I got back, I kind of got back into the job search space, took a part-time job, and then went back into my work.
Mhm.
I'm wondering now, because that's got to be a lot too, when you say, it caused anxiety and maybe depression. Does that kind of have to deal with the fact that you're actually, I can't imagine coming to you needing a job, and not having some type of maybe anxiety wrapped around it.
Yeah.
Do you kind of take that on when you
Tricky,
have
and
these
like that being the
clients?
empath.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or because that's a lot too, because you have people, I'm
Mhm.
assuming, that listen, I need to get a job ASAP, or, finances are tight, or I'm kind of living with this heaviness. I'm sure that's transferable to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the energy that I get from them, you mean?
Yes, yes.
Yes, it is, and it can be, but it's also about personality management and knowing where to meet your clients at. Like
Mm.
I never cut a client off. So my first commitment is always to my clients and meeting them where they're at and, understanding where they're at because I've been where they are.
Right.
And I think
Yeah.
we've all been where they are.
Yeah.
So I try to manage that. It's just like when there was a whole bunch of different streams of things going on. And I've learned my lesson from that because now I know you take maybe 2 to 3 things and you do them really well, not
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. That makes
Absolutely.
sense. But I can imagine, I mean, and just from my experience with my own depression and anxiety, when I'm facing burnout, it all stacks. And so I'm burnt out, plus the
Mhm.
depression, plus the anxiety, which is adding to the burnout. And then I have zero motivation, and then I'm depressed. And I've noticed that it touches every area of life. So,
Mhm.
when was the deciding factor for you? Okay, it's time. It is time for me to take a break.
When I had a panic attack, and I had never had a panic attack, when I was curled up in the ball over a resume that
Yeah.
I thought the client hated, and she was going to call me, and she said she left it. She just wanted to take a few things out. That's it.
Yeah.
And I was panicking over this
Thinking that
resume that I
wasn't
had
there.
done. It was probably like my thousandth resume I had written because I've been writing since 2012 and this is like 2017. And I was like, I panicked over that. And then I was like, my husband's like, probably time to slow down.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
which I think is so helpful to be honest and open about things like this, because especially in today's day and age, there's so many of us going through different things, so many different shifts,
Absolutely.
so many different changes, whether it be political, whether it be business, whether it be AI. So to be open and honest and then take that time when you need it and heal yourself to come back to the game,
Mhm.
I think is admirable. I think it's something that we all need to be doing and listening to and
Mhm.
hearing to, instead of everything's fine, everything's great.
Yeah.
Everything's not always fine and great
It's not
though.
always fine. It's not always
Yeah.
great.
God.
No. Like right now it's good, but you know,
Wait for
7,
tomorrow.
8,
No, just kidding.
10 years ago it wasn't so good.
Yeah.
Right. So now
But
when
I'm
we
sure
talk
that you
career, oh, I'm sorry.
you
Go ahead.
I was
Did
gonna
you
say, but going through that experience, you probably learned more ways to state your
handle?
boundaries and
Oh
like
yes.
hold to them. Because I didn't I took, a little bit of a break from clients and bringing those on last year because I was in that same situation. Like I was so, okay, I can't do this
Frazzle.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
so frazzled that if I got one text message or one, I'm like, okay, I
Yeah.
can't open that. I cannot open that. But that's where I
Yeah.
learned, like, okay, my phone goes on do not disturb at the exact same time every single day. I do not
Yep.
answer work things on the weekend. Like, I set a lot of boundaries after that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that
So
you
did
did the
I.
same.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did. And now I hold those boundaries. Takes a while to practice those boundaries, but I definitely
Right.
hold true to those boundaries
Yes.
now.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Absolutely. Well, now career wellness. Let's flip that. What does that mean to you? Tell me
Career
about
wellness. Well, in 2021, during COVID, I decided I wanted to take the 200 hours yoga teacher training. So I'm also a trained yoga teacher.
Oh,
And
Very cool.
I took it as like a learning experience. And then I'm like, mindfulness in careers and wellness in your career. And I don't want people to experience what I experience, even though they're
Mm-hmm.
going to, but I want to help them make it easier.
God,
So
yeah.
where clients are stressed out, I help them through like mindfulness practices, not really meditation. I can do help them with meditation, but just mindfulness thinking when
Mm.
they're searching for a job. So being really clear on what you want, being really clear on your goals, being just really clear on your state of mind and what it's going to look like once you get that role in the job that you're seeking. So
Mm.
that when you start the job, you're accepting a job that you're not like, oh, it's close to home and it pays X amount per hour. I'm just going to take it because it's convenient, like
Out of
I
fight
do.
or flight too. I mean, I think
Yeah,
so many people when they're looking for jobs go into fight or flight, and it's like,
Yes.
okay, I'm gonna take that, and we're reactionary, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna do that thing.
We're the
yeah,
same way as entrepreneurs as well. Like
Yeah.
we can get in that fight or flight very
100%.
quickly.
100%.
yeah. I'll take the first contract that comes my way. You
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
We've all
Yeah,
been there.
We
yeah.
have. Everybody has been there. All right. Now, well, you said it best. You can find a career that gives you peace, and somewhere there is a woman rolling her eyes out there that says, it must be nice, but I got bills, I got, kids, I've got to run around. What would you tell her?
First of all, see where your finances are at. Work with a financial advisor if you have to. Don't run, walk, take your
Mhm.
time. If you're in a role right now, stay there until you figure it out whether you want entrepreneurship or another job.
Mhm.
If you want entrepreneurship, stay in your role and start the entrepreneurship part time and start bringing money in for that. Look at your time management, especially if you have kids, because I have a 2.5-year-old, so I know what that's like. Um,
Uh-huh.
look at what kind of role you want going forward and start putting the building blocks in place. But I
Mhm.
never tell somebody to leave their job. But if they're not in a job, I say let's go full force ahead
Yep.
and find something that you want.
Mm,
So
Amazing.
I
And
love
Love
now
that.
finish this sentence for me. The fiercest thing a woman can do for her career is
do something that makes her feel good.
it. Mm.
love it, love it, love it, love it.
Love
And
it.
that is achievable.
That
That's
Clearly.
the
is
best part.
achievable.
Absolutely. Obviously, it sounds like you worked with hundreds of women like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
worked with a
Has
lot.
it.
Amazing. Well, now here's the biggest question. Where can they find you if anybody would like to go ahead and book your services or just look a little bit more into you and how you can help them?
At Bliss Plus You on Instagram and www.blissplusu.ca. I'm in Canada, so it's .ca, not .com.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
love it. Well, this has
And
been
she's also
really
very
insightful.
active on Threads.
Ah, threads.
This is
Yes.
the time. This is the time in the podcast where I go and follow you
Yeah.
every time.
So when you see Kira, look down. So, anyways, well, this has been a delight. And like I said, I appreciate your openness, your honesty, and really how, the pivot of careers or the kids coming out of school. I think this is really insightful for all the above. So thank you so much. I
Thank
truly
you.
appreciate your
Yes,
time.
we appreciate you.
Honestly, this was awesome.
I love this.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Nikki, can you tell us where they can find Women Talk Fierce?
We are on all podcast platforms and on most social media platforms and YouTube. So if you want to see our pretty faces every week, that's where you can find us. And Kira can tell you all about our pretty new website and our networking hub that she just beautifully put together.
Yes, www.womentalkfierce.com. We are a group of women without mouth boundaries. We have other boundaries, but we do not have boundaries on our mouths. So come, sit, talk to us, have a conversation. We want to get to the real you without all the stuffy stuff, without all the business stuff. We want you to come and join us for free for one sit-in. So you can go to our site, sign up for that. And if you join the network, you do get to go into our hub, which is hosted on membership.io. That is not sponsored. I wish it were. But it is sponsored on, or is on membership.io. And you can go in where you're going to get all the resources and the resources from our girls within the community.
They are some amazing girls. I love the
They
open
are.
house. So much fun. So much fun. Important. It's never recorded. There's your clue. So we are Women Talk Fierce. 3 women, 3 stages of life, motherhood, business, and a roller coaster of laughs, lessons, and of course, loud opinions. And it looks like we are all alive. No true crime podcast kicking today. So thank you so much for coming, Jennifer. And
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
catching up with you. Thanks again. Thanks, lady.
Bye.
Bye.